Mark, Deborah.
I'm pretty sure he liked listening to Ace of Base, I Saw the Sign. Anything he wanted in his mom's car because he never rode the bus line. McDonald's or Ann's Bakery for breakfast every day. He was living the good life, I'd have to say. I kept watching him that year. He definitely wasn't one to pose. He did, however, have one very mean brown nose. A teacher's pet, better than anyone around, he could turn that B into an A without making a sound. This was a kid I needed to know. In less than 2 years, we had great matching flow. So we started our journey as two best buds. Little did we know we'd end up becoming such serious studs. So on we went, baseball and all, until that day when summer turned to fall. Hockey it was for me, but what about him? He really wanted to play, but his outlook was slim. A little white boy with a heart of gold, trying to play hockey, I'd say that's bold. He had his loving mother sign him up to play. He started skating backwards, so I told him he was going the wrong way. He couldn't skate forwards, but he had no shame. He proceeded to tell me that even defensemen could make it to the Hall of Fame. Doubtful. That was this boy in every sense. He knew what he wanted, and he was never on the fence. Some could call him stubborn, others strong-minded. If you saw him without his shirt on, you'd definitely be blinded. Sorry. We had our sleepovers like all good friends do. Good thing for me, I didn't like the fighting suit. Yeah. We played a little knee hockey and some Sega on the tube. We even stayed up extra late watching TV, hoping to see just one boob.
Good luck.
It's the truth. Sorry. On to middle school we went, and then me it was. I think this was the time we saw our first peach fuzz. Sounds good. Good boys we were until we went astray. Detention got me first, thanks to some stinky fart spray. Josh was soon to follow, and no, not for playing hooky. He was busted by the lunch lady for trying to steal a cookie. It's true. I do have to admit those cookies were something delicious, but trying to steal one, now that just seems suspicious. Like only he could do, he convinced the principal to give him no time. Afterwards, I saw him running down the hall high-stepping like prime time. So smooth he had become, like all of the jocks. Oh, except for the time in the sauna when he peed on the rocks. It's not very smooth. It's not smooth. It was an out-of-town hockey tourney, and boys will be boys, but peeing on the rocks is something that nobody enjoys. Don't try it. Other than that, our boy Josh was a saint. He made it through middle school without another complaint. Off to high school he went, and a skipper he became. Then our friendship was tested, and I was the one to blame. Off to another school I went. My reasons I had some, but I bet if you still asked Josh, he'd tell you Breck was dumb. That's true. It's true. Now you know it. I missed those 3 years with my best bud, and I'll never get them back. If it's any consolation, Josh, at least I don't cheer for the pack. We still had our summer nights out, and baseball when I saw you hit your bomb. Come to think about it, everywhere we went, you were always calling your mom. Now, Debbie truly is the best, and that's without a doubt. But any 31-year-old who can't talk to his mom shouldn't start to pout. He still calls his mom when he's on a business trip. Kevin and I just laugh saying, man, get a grip. Anyways, off to college we went. It would be 4 more years apart. But if the Schmidt family smelt something, they still blamed it on my fart.
It's true. True.
W, that was for you. That's... I had a little gas problem when we were young. Yeah. Somehow I still get blamed for the manure smell when they drive past some cow dung. Unfortunately for me, we went to Gustavus in all its charm, but the only way to get there is to drive past many a farm. Needless to say, I was the butt end of many a joke. I guess I'm just glad it was me of whom they spoke. At college, Josh continued to learn and to think. Pretty impressive that he waited to 21 to have a drink. It says a lot about a man who can choose his own way. I give Josh a lot of credit for not listening to what anyone else would say. His parents raised him right, a confident young man. He's the only guy I know who always has a plan. He's a Gusty for life, pride he's not afraid to show. You should have seen him in college, a white kid with a huge afro. He graduated with honors and was a leader among his peers. The best thing about it is we would be reunited as we started our careers. We are in our early 20s doing what guys that age do. Let's just say it didn't involve taking our kids to the zoo. We started at 50.05, even started getting paid. The company hired us both. Shouldn't they be afraid? They might be. We are in the mobile home industry, which isn't exactly what we dreamed of, but that's besides the point because we work with people we truly love. We played pretty hard for a few years, and then my life changed in a big way. I found the girl of my dreams, and that's pretty much all that I can say. It took a little to no time at all, but I think that's the way the heart is meant to fall. I wanted Josh to find that too, but I worried he may be a bit too picky. Finding the perfect girl for him, that could be extremely tricky. He had a laundry list of things he'd need. I doubt there was a girl who could fit that indeed. After all those first dates, we'd come to expect what he'd say. She was a nice girl, but not the one for Jay. Now is the time for the best part of the poem. He finally met a girl who he could call home. After that first date, he couldn't stop talking. It sounded like he might be borderline stalking. Who is this girl that grabbed my boy's heart? With all the nice things he's told me, I need to make a flow chart. Then came the day when we finally met Maggie. Josh couldn't be happier, he was drooling like Shaggy. I knew when I saw her that my boy was in trouble. There was no more to Josh being on the dating bubble. She was very pretty, of course. Josh had told me she was hot. But she couldn't stop talking about all the shoes she had just bought. She was a little spitfire, always with a huge smile on her face. I'm just glad that someone can finally put Josh in his place.
Someone has to.
All jokes aside, she was a beauty from Syracuse with a very big heart. We knew she was perfect for Josh right from the very start. I left the double date feeling incredibly happy. Watching those two was like a movie that was overly sappy. The fact of the matter is, when something is right, it's right. These two fell madly in love, and it happened overnight. Standing here today as Josh's best man, it's an incredible feeling because I'm your guy's biggest fan. You'll be great together, everyone in this room can agree. Married happily ever after for the whole world to see. Josh, you're my boy. You're always on my side. Thanks for your loyalty and always being someone I can confide. Maggie, you're great, and thanks for making Josh swoon. It takes an amazing lady to handle that goon. I love you two both very much. Thanks for including me in your special day. Now go make some babies, and that's all that I have to say.